Good morning, you guys. All right, a little impromptu video that I wasn't planning on making today, but I was talking to my girlfriend Nancy, who is going to Costco today to buy vanilla, and she told me that the price of vanilla is like $30. Then I talked to my girlfriend Allison, and I was like, is vanilla really $30 for a bottle? And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, if not more. So I jumped on Amazon just to see how much vanilla extract costs, and for a big bottle of McCormick, it's a 16-ounce bottle, $35.90, you guys. I have not bought vanilla, honest to goodness, in I think it's been 6 years now. I make my own, so I need to fill one of my bottles. So I figured, you know what, I'm gonna turn on the camera. We're gonna talk vanilla extract. And I know vanilla beans are really expensive, which is kind of disheartening when you wanna make your own. But I will tell you guys, these beans that are in this jar are anywhere between 3 to 6 years old. The last time I filled this jar, I think it was about 3 years ago. I don't even think it was 2 years ago. I think it was 3 years. It was when we were preparing to move, and we've been in this house now, it'll be 2 years this spring. And it was before we moved, when I was prepping to move, and I figured, okay, I had a bag of vanilla beans, and I just ended up adding them to my vanilla. And so that's what I do. I add vanilla beans here and there. But the vanilla beans that you see inside here that are kind of broken down and shorter, those are the beans that I've had in here for 6 years that slowly deteriorate. But I tell you, you'll get like vanilla bean speckles in your bread, and anytime you use it, as they start to break down in the alcohol, it's fantastic. Ever since making homemade vanilla, I've never looked back. I've never gone back to buying vanilla extract. This is so fantastic. Now, when I first started making vanilla, I bought the cheapest vodka that I could buy. Everybody told me just buy cheap and do it that way, and you definitely can, but I will tell you, I now use bourbon, and that is due to my friend Paul over at Paul's Rule of Thumb. He made vanilla bourbon, and I was like, I need to try bourbon. It is so much smoother. The vanilla is so smooth and rich from the bourbon that I can't go back to vodka now. So depending on what kind of flavor you want from your vanilla, that's the type of alcohol that I would use. I definitely prefer the bourbon vanilla flavor. It's so intense, and it's so smooth and so delicious. It really pops. Like the bourbon really makes the vanilla flavor pop, in my opinion. So that's what I use. But you know, randomly, when you can, add a couple of vanilla beans throughout time. But even though I know the vanilla beans are an investment, in the long run, if you're spending, and this is what I went to look at vanilla beans on Amazon, and I'll leave a link down below to the ones that I was able to find. Now, somebody did do a review between grade A and grade B. For me, I would just go ahead and do grade A if you can afford it. But if you can't, do grade B. I'm looking at grade A for $29.80. How many does that give you? Let's see. That will give you 10, where 25 of the Tahitian grade B is $35.95. But think of that as a long-term investment, you guys. You buy beans once, it's gonna last you 6 years of continuous vanilla. All you have to do is buy the alcohol, and you can get that cheap enough. I'm thinking just it's in the long run, you're gonna save so much money, even with an investment of vanilla beans. that it makes it worth it, in my opinion. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna spin the camera around. I'm gonna get you on the tripod, because right now you're just on my counter. I'm gonna get you on the tripod, and then I'm going to show you how easy this is to make your own homemade vanilla. All you need is vanilla beans and a jar. These bottles actually came from Joann Fabric in their dollar section. These were $1 a piece. Sometimes you can find them at the dollar store. You can even use, I'll show you. These bottles here came from my friend Paul. These are lemonade bottles from Aldi, sparkling lemonade, and you can take off the label and save this bottle and use it again and again. And he actually gave me a couple so that I could actually make my vanilla in these. The problem is I can't fit them in my cupboard, so keep that in mind. If you do something like this, you might have to keep it in your pantry. I just haven't gotten around to buying more beans yet, but when I do, I'm gonna make some vanilla in this. But these bottles here from the dollar store, or from the dollar section at Joann's. So you can find bottles anywhere. In fact, I will try to find some bottles for you on Amazon and link them down below for you guys just to make it easier. But yeah, let's make some vanilla extract, right? So these are the bottles that I have on rotation. I use a lot of vanilla in my baking, so I'm kind of constantly rotating these. The longer vanilla sits, the better. You want to let it sit at least 6 weeks before you use it. And then once in a while, you just want to go in there and shake it, you know. It just helps, you know, kind of, you know, disperse the vanilla flavor. This is the bottle that I'm currently working on right now. This bottle I just recently filled quite a few weeks ago, so this will be ready to use, I don't know, in a few more weeks. And then this is the bottle that I recently finished up on. So this is the one that I need to fill. So cheap little funnel. I will also see if I can find one of these on Amazon for you. Just plop it right in. It's that easy. And then of course I'm using Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon. All right, and then all you do is you just take it and you fill up your jar. Now I might need to get some more bourbon. I don't know if I'll get a full jar. I won't. So I'll need to run to the liquor store sometime this week and grab more. But you're just gonna fill that all the way up, and then you just put the top on. Give it a nice little shaky shake, and then you let this sit for at least 6 weeks, and then it'll be ready to use. Now I've had vanilla sit as long as a year and man is it good. So but it depends on how often you use vanilla to determine how fast you go through it. That's why I like to have at least 3 bottles on rotation. That way, as you're using one, you've got 2 more sitting and kind of, you know, steeping, if you will. I would recommend you buy some vanilla beans, get it into a jar, especially if you use a lot of vanilla. Do 2 jars, do 3 jars, do more if you can, but at least 3 jars. That's what I like to have in rotation. But it's so easy, you guys. And I do want to make mention that I never split my beans. There is a Bean Pro that said if you are making vanilla beans, never split them, because yes, it gives a burst of flavor, but over time they kind of become dead. So put your beans in whole, don't split them, let them deteriorate over time, and you'll be able to reuse these beans over and over and over again. Like I said, I've never taken my beans out of my jars, so eventually over time they will start deteriorating and getting low, and then all I do is I plop a couple more vanilla beans inside. That's it. So see, in this bottle you can see, I don't know if you can see some of that. Let me see if I can get you where you guys can see inside that bottle. You'll see some of these lower beans. That's because over time they've just kind of deteriorated here. So as they go down, I just plop some fresh beans inside and just keep them in your bottles. It's fantastic. So this one I just recently filled not very long ago, and then of course this is the one we just filled together where I will have to get some more bourbon to add to it. But yeah, this is fantastic. Vanilla, homemade vanilla, you guys, is so much better in my opinion. It tastes better than the stuff you buy at the store. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that. Do you see that right at the top there? That's pieces of the vanilla bean. Those are the little specks that you'll get in your bread when you use your vanilla. It's fantastic. It has so much like sediment. It's so good. So, and in the long run, it's going to save you a ton of money. So I hope this was helpful for those of you who have had some interest in making your own vanilla extract and maybe didn't know how, or didn't know how, you know, what to use, because I never even knew that you could make your own vanilla extract until I started learning all these things, right? Canning and baking and cooking from scratch. So in case you didn't know, you can make your own. And for those of you who have always been interested, I can't recommend it more highly. It's phenomenal, and all it's going to cost you through the years is a bottle of, you know, your favorite, you know, bourbon or vodka, whichever you prefer. So I hope this was helpful. All right, guys, I will be seeing you soon.